everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 626. We are that podcast talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I am Mako-chan.
Well, everybody sounds quite refreshed tonight.
Sure.
Y'all sure know how to phone that shit in. But yeah, how's everybody doing tonight?
Hanging in there, I guess.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, besides me being waylaid by a user on the phone, I somehow made it here in one piece.
Ooh.
Even with the trains being delayed. Saving grace was the fact that the train ran express for only 2 stops.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, if it ran express for a few more stops, like at J Street Metrotech, then it would have been. I probably would have been here around my normal time, give or take like 5-10 minutes. But anywho, enough about that. You're not here to hear about our rough days and stuff like that. You're here to know what we thought of Zenkaikon 2024. But before we get into that, we gotta do some stuff to pay some bills around here. So I just want to let you know that we're live tonight, week of March 26, 2024, right here on Twitch TV. We're live here on Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You'll always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks network at vognetwork.com, and you will always find them at vognetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch. You can always find their shows on Twitch TV/Vog Network. And before we continue, as said in our chat here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, that one Jewish elf says, Zenkaikon 2024, you were one for the books. You ain't kidding about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. And come hang out in our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Vog Network has their own channel, so come through, hang out. Say hi, talk. If you have some cool news to share, post a link. We'd love to hear it. And now that we got that out the way, we're going to go through how was our week, how was our day. It'll probably be pretty short because we didn't do much last week for obvious reasons, well, for most of us. So, Ari, how was your week? How was your day? Let me fix this webcam real quick.
Well, last week was my vacation,
Mhm.
and my paycheck did clear when I was at the convention.
Mhm.
So, I wasn't exactly strapped for cash this weekend.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Although, again, it was the duality of, all right, I need money I need enough money so I can be comfortable walking around versus, wait, I shouldn't spend all this money. I don't know where am I going to put all this,
Trust me, I'm running out of space. Believe you me, after the money I spent last weekend, the weekend before last, I was like, boy,
Yeah, it's not about the space. It's just, having money to spend on other things, or at least attempt to save.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that.
I also went to the doctor today. I ended up, discussing a total of 3 different tests I had. One for ENT stuff, which was, really weird nosebleeds.
Mm-hmm.
And for an X-ray and for a blood work.
Well,
and I don't have any issues with anything like that at all.
Well,
I've actually improved quite a bit. So and the X-ray to the back didn't show anything unusual. So
well, that's good.
I still feel like I'm just a ticking time bomb, and I don't know the the countdown timers, so I'm just like, oh god, what the hell's gonna happen to me?
No, you'll be just fine. I wouldn't even worry too much about that.
I try not to, but I can't help but creep back into the back of my mind.
Go.
Also, I think it rained pretty heavily this past weekend while I was away.
Yeah, the weather went from like raining all weekend to like, well, one day to like, well, it rained for a few hours and then, yeah.
Yeah, because the floor and parts of like the carpet in some parts of my apartment, like around my computer desk,
Mm.
is kind of damp.
Well, that's not good. I would
I
hide.
mean, all the electronic stuff is up on the desk, so that's not anything to worry about. But guess who found out about it the hard way when he sat at his computer after getting up in the morning?
No, trust me, I understand. In my basement apartment, like you can't see it. Even if I were to turn the webcam over to it, there are like indents of water up against the door. You can see where it was, and I'm like, there is not possible for it to flood that high. But yet, since the floor I'm on is not even level, it's just lopsided as fuck all. I just think the water
Hmm.
just kept sloshing up against it and drained out. And luckily, I have not lost a single electronic here. I've lost furniture, I lost a sleeping bag, but no electronics, thank God.
Yeah, I haven't lost anything major yet, anyway. So
That's good. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Exhausting. But fun.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's basically it.
well,
Exhausting but fun.
Well, for my weekend day, it's pretty much the same, except not exhausted. Except Wednesday, I'm sitting at home waiting around for 2 packages, and we'll get into why I was waiting around for that to start off our trip. So that was all fun and games. So, like I said, we were like I said, last weekend was Zenkaikon. We went down day zero for Thursday. I left to head to Mako's Wednesday night. Be easier that way. This year, I actually took Wednesday off, so I didn't have to drag stuff to work. That gave me time to sleep in for a couple of hours. Make sure I had everything packed, and I still forgot shit. So, I I think my spike wig my original spike wig is lost, but my drawer with all of my cosplays in. I think this weekend I'm gonna pull everything out and just kind of put everything together and start bagging stuff and just making sure where everything goes and start hanging stuff up in my closet that needs to be hung up. So we'll figure that out. So enough about that. We're going to get into some housekeeping notes here. If the page will actually refresh for me. Let me do it this way. There we go. We just want to let you know that episodes of Anime Jam Session are available Thursdays at 12 noon. It's perfect if you miss an episode, if you don't have a Twitch subscription or you want to check out older episodes, you'll always find them on there. And our second convention of the year, which is not for another month, is Castle Point Anime Convention, April 27th and the 28th at the Secaucus Expo Center. So come through, hang out, and have a good time. Now, I know recently we've been kind of been here, not been here. So as I've said, one of the things I strongly express with the staff is if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling up for doing a show, let me know, and it'll be a 2-person show. But if we don't have enough people to cover it for a 2-person show, we will cancel that show for the week. And normally we would go. What we used to do is we would do a show Wednesday, but we're like, you know what? Let's just chill this week. We might go back and do a Wednesday show just to see how things go. And for last week, I was the one that was sick. Basically what happened was I got food poisoning, and by the time I had gotten home, I was just running back and forth between the bed and the restroom. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, all I gotta do is run the board, and if I do have to leave, I could just flip my camera off, mute my microphone, and handle business. But Mako-chan, thankfully to her, kindly reminded me like health comes first, which is why we had no show last week. So now you understand. And she basically said, if you have to think about the fact that if what's more important than don't do a show, and very much well. I just kind of look at it, well, I'm here, I'm at the console. I kind of have a strategy here, but things happen. And I do apologize for the way the show has been. Let me adjust a minute. We'll keep things rolling, continue to have a good time on here, definitely. So now that we got that out the way for housekeeping notes and so forth, we're gonna get into the part of the show called Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geeky aspects of our life and what we've been up to. So, what you got first this week for Geek Roundtable, Ari?
Well, I want to show up the gifts that Mako got me, which are
Yeah,
birthday and Christmas. We
that's
just happen
cool.
to be there at the same time. And this one is a collectible wood model of Ecto 1.
Nice.
I'm not sure which one is which in terms of gift, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, freaking dispensary bag. And the other one is this Viking boat,
That's
which
cool.
looks awesome. And it's in here, punch out, build it, color it. I'm like, oh god, I get the paint miniatures. That's fun. I have no idea how to do that. Is what I'm saying. But still, I'm very thankful for you for the gifts, Patty. Mako.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which,
Mhm.
Mako.
Maka, what you have for a geek?
Yeah, I've got a big D on my screen right now.
Oh, the almighty D.
So
Just remember, Mako-chan needs the D.
I love the D. The D is amazing. But yeah, it's this past weekend was Zenkaikon, and one of the things I got because I found him was a Deadpool figure. It is a Japanese Deadpool figure. Yes, all the wording is in English,
Mm-hmm.
but yes.
Gratuitous English.
Yes, it is from Japan, made in China, which is, amazing. But it is one of the few Marvel Japan figures that did come out for Deadpool. So I had to have him.
Of course.
The only thing that I'm upset about is, that there are no yellow text boxes.
Why no yellow text boxes?
Because Deadpool always talks in yellow text box.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it technically Deadpool has a couple of different text boxes, depending on whether he is speaking to somebody, speaking to himself, or speaking to the voices in his brain.
Voices in my head.
Or his voices talking to him. So you can usually tell who's speaking through the color of the boxes. So, yeah.
So, have you been playing with the D?
I only just opened up and started putting the D together so that I could show the D off on stream. I think everybody else would like to see the D as well.
Gotcha. All right, so let's see. I caught up with Halo. I watched the season finale. I will say this. If I had no idea of the Halo lore, I would say both seasons have been absolutely amazing. I've played through all the games except for Infinite. The special effects, the fights, all of that, I loved it. Storyline, kind of hate it. Season 2 kind of ramps up per se, and they have definitely strayed off of the lore. But yet, I still want to know what's going to happen in season 3. So that's all good and dandy. Television-wise, is a TV show called Tracker. I've caught up with that. Those of you who know, I love my Law and Order, so I'm caught up with all 3 shows. Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. I'm caught up with those. And that's basically is it for that. As for anime, I will be catching up on some anime this week because I gotta see what's gonna happen next on Free Ren. I know I gotta catch up with The Dangers in My Heart. And speaking of that, I went out and got a figurine from that series. I have this Anna Yamada figure from The Dangers in My Heart. As you can see here, for those of you who are listening to the show, it is a figurine of Anna offering a snack product as she's sitting on a small stool or bench. And what was interesting is this came in a regular Amazon bag, clear like white bag, and the box is slightly bent. And I'm just like, you know what, it's fine. And the only reason why I got it through Amazon is because I totally missed out on Otaku Mode. Because, as you all know, if you order anything off of Otaku Mode, you get the package, and it's basically bubble wrapped. And once it's bubble wrapped, it's covered in paper wrap. It's wrapped again in paper in the box and sends it on its way. So, you know, and there's that. So, there was another figurine of hers that I want. But I'm like, you know, I can wait. So that's basically has been my Geek Roundtable. All right, so let's readjust the volume here. So now what we're going to do, we are going to get into the 4 days of Zenkaikon. And some of you are probably thinking, well, the con's only 3 days. Well, just remember, some conventions have like an unofficial day 0. And day 0, for those of you who don't know, is where you go down Thursday or Wednesday, the day before. This is where, you know, this gives you an opportunity to chill, relax, unwind, lay stuff out. Not everybody does it, but most of your friends will probably be there. This is the perfect time to check if you're new to the area, do some urban exploration and so forth, which is kind of fun to do. People cosplay on day 0. Some conventions have stuff going on day 0. Like, they may have video rooms up, like you can hang out there, or some panels. Some people do their photography on day 0 because some places that are great for photography might just be backed up, or you might not get to it. So that's basically what we did. Is that, and if you go down on day 1, you might not get into the room until late, and you might miss out on some stuff. The benefits of day 0, benefits of day 0. Panels usually start around 10 o'clock in the morning. You're there, and you're already set. So, let's go ahead and get into our day 0. Sorry about that. I'll have to turn that down a little bit more. There we go. Let's see what the volume is at. Let's bring it down to 20. All right. So basically, day 0 is just us getting in, getting food, and so forth. So from my view, it was just me, Mako-chan, and Cinnamite traveling down, making a quick pit stop at Walmart for stuff. There's me doing last-minute ordering because I forgot a wig for Spike. Cinnamite needed a pair of shoes for her cosplay. We'll get into that in just a bit. I believe I actually ordered that on Wednesday for pickup on Thursday. I needed a grip for the camcorder, which I'm sending back because it can't keep things stable. So I figured out something else to do with that. So we're going to take care of that some way or another. So then, you know, we met up with the others, Kura Hikari-chan and her sister and brother-in-law. And what was great was we had conjoining rooms. So we're basically going back and forth. We ordered Chinese, we ordered Thai, we ordered Japanese. had some drinks. We just basically relaxed and had a good time. I really didn't do much photography on Thursday night. I just grabbed a couple of photos here and there, and that's just about it. And every year when I do cons, my goal is to not to overstrain myself to get as many photos as I can, but just get enough, as well as try to check out some panels and just enjoy stuff, That was basically my day zero. So, Ari, didn't you say you checked out the pool?
Well, yeah, I did eventually. First, like I got there around like 2 o'clock because I thought you guys would have been there sooner, or at the very least, I've been like, maybe let me check in. Maybe my name's on it. I don't know.
No, if your name's not on the room, there's most likely they're not gonna let you check. They won't let you check in. Even if your name's on the room, they still won't let you check in early unless you want to pay for the room.
That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow,
it kind of does.
Yeah, I was mostly just decompressing from traveling all the way out there, which it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was like maybe next time we'll all end up in the same car together.
Maybe we'll never know. That means
But
we'd have to get
we'd have to get probably didn't have enough room in her trunk for all of our suitcases and whatnot.
Well, that means we'd have to get like a SUV or something like that, or a minivan. That would be the only way we could all roll down together.
Was I right, Mako, about the?
Yeah, unfortunately, when going to conventions, I can fit 3 people and shit. Just because, like, if it's a one-day convention, that's different. You're basically just wearing the clothes that you're wearing that day, and the next day you might have a small bag. But when you have, 3 cosplayers that have a lot of stuff, so they have clothes and costumes for basically each day, especially when you've got props and crap like that, it really cuts down on the amount of space. Which is why my next vehicle, when I can finally afford it, will be a hatchback. Because then I can fit more stuff into the trunk instead of having to use the rest of the back seat as other storage crap.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, like we were all in the same 2 rooms together on Thursday night, so I didn't do anything too different from you. It was the next day when I went and checked out the pool properly.
Yeah, and like I said, I think I realized Friday that I was like, wait, we were on the same floor last year, and then like Saturday I was talking to my friend Ophelia Cyber, and I was doing a quick Miracle shoot with her where we were shooting. I was like, wait, we stayed in these 2 rooms on the corner around here, It would be kind of amazing that every year we go to Zenkai, they keep us on the 7th floor somewhere. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
At least we didn't have to go through the go all the way up to go down on Sunday.
Well, that's because we were smart and we kind of brought our stuff down early.
I think it's only once during that weekend that I had to actually go up to go down.
I think that happened to me once too. But I don't know about y'all, but the majority of the time, I definitely had an empty elevator most times. Maybe because of the fact that the Holiday Inn
the Holiday Inn did take a bit of the load off, especially since a part of the convention was being held over there.
And the fanboy funk factor dropped by 40%.
Which was very nice.
Yeah.
A very marked improvement.
For those of you wondering, yeah. The game room was at the Holiday Inn. So there are some people who go to cons. All they do is play video games. All they do is stay in the game room. So they're all at the Holiday Inn. I kind of feel bad for the people who were over there because they couldn't get into the Marriott. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are people that just go to these conventions to go to the game room and maybe the dealer's hall. So for those people that are just coming to conventions to game, it kind of works out.
And as that one Jewish elf says in our chat room here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, the game room was bad. It was warm and smelly. I am so sorry you had to deal with that.
Honestly, I was only over in the game area once, but I'll get to that when I start talking about the rest of Friday.
I've been meaning to, but the thing is that I have this habit of I'd rather stay in where the majority of everything is. Like back when Anime Next was in Somerset, like across the street was a game room at another Holiday Inn, oddly enough. And then they had rented one of the building spaces near the expo center, which is now a warehouse, for the video rooms. And I was like, I just don't feel like walking out and leaving. Because this is where everybody's congregated. I might miss that one awesome cosplay, Now it's like, if I miss it, I miss it. I will try to get it another time, which did happen. But luckily, I know that cosplayer, so we'll figure something out. So, Does that also cover your day 0 as well, Mako?
Pretty much. I really didn't. Besides going to get the badges and stuff like that, there really wasn't a lot in the main hotel. There were a couple of panels, but most of what they did was have the game rooms open. They have the last couple of years not done a video room, which I would assume that those would also be open had there been a room set aside for it. But yeah, besides that, it was just meeting up and getting to basically catch up because we hadn't really hung out in quite a while.
That's true. Now I will say this is something discussion that we had in our rooms. The fact that Zenkaikon didn't have a video room. It's starting to become a thing where some smaller conventions are no longer having video rooms. I think even a couple of larger ones aren't either. Now, basically, the benefits of a video room was basically free advertising. And by free advertising, I mean you go back about 5-10 years. All these animes are coming out. Some of us couldn't afford to buy the DVDs or the Blu-rays or the VHS tapes. But who knows? A convention might be showing it. So you had an opportunity to check it out in a video room to see if you liked it or not. That's how I've discovered a few cool titles, And now we get into streaming. And now, for most cases, streaming is pretty affordable. If it's just you could probably pay $6 a month for a Crunchyroll subscription. We all know it's more than that, but I'm just throwing a number out there. So it's like you have at your fingertips thousands of anime titles. Let's say that one convention you went to had something in the video room you wanted to see, and you totally missed it. Aha! I have a streaming subscription. Let me see if I can find it there. Lo and behold, there it is. Now, to me, a benefit of a video room is a place to get away. And what I mean is, let's say you're walking around. Let's say you're cosplaying and you're feeling a little tired, and you're not ready to go back to your room yet. Flip into a video room. Yes, it's a little noisy and so forth because from people watching and probably commenting and laughing, but you can find a seat and just kind of relax and catch your bearings, Especially if you can't make it to a manga library. And yes, manga libraries are quiet, but when it piles up with people, it doesn't feel as quiet, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, having a manga library is nice,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you just want that background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Manga library is kept quiet just so people can read, but sometimes you just want that white noise in the background as you decompress.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, depending on what's being shown, it could be, something that you can laugh at or something that you can, just tune out. But at the same time, it could be, something that you find that you enjoy.
Yeah, and that would be cool. Like I said, hopefully next year they'll have a video room back. I mean, we'll get more on that a little bit later. But now let's get into our day one. Wait, before we continue, as one of our own staffers here who's participating with us tonight, Cinnamite, they recommend. They say a quiet room, much like Oda-chan at Otakon. Quiet anime in the background, small crafts. Yeah. Now, if Zenkaikon had that Otakon type money and budget,
And she does also miss video rooms.
I know I sure as hell do. All right. Now let's get into day one. Why is it still loud?
Because that versus screen from rival schools it always hits pretty hard.
No, I actually had the volume set for something different for that. Let me check. It could be where it's coming from. Okay, I see. All right, that's why. Okay. I have it piped through the wrong output, so my apologies about that. That's already pre-programmed and saved. Okay. You gotta love it when you have like a mixer with multiple outputs and you just sending it to different channels and not realizing it, even though you turned the volume down. All right, so day one. All right, I'll go first since my day one's gonna probably be like the shortest of them all. Now, as you all know, I spend the majority of the weekend just walking the hallways, just looking to take cosplay photos. And I look for something to kind of pique my attention. That's all. Because we're at a point where there's going to be at least, about 10 to 15 photographers floating around. But I think I'm one of the few that will always continue to do haul cosplay because everybody deserves their 15 minutes of fame one way or another. And I will say, the cosplay this year, there were no popularity. There wasn't one anime overpowering another. It really was like an equal blend of everything. The fact that there were less than like 20 Genshin Impact cosplayers I saw was kind of surprising. And the same with Demon Slayer. So one panel I did I found I wanted to check out was the anime openings panel. I think I stayed for about 5-10 minutes and I left because it wasn't piquing my attention. Now,
Wait, are you talking about the Guess the Anime opening?
Yes.
I was at that one.
I was
in it for a lot longer than you, I believe.
All right, we can talk about that for a bit. I
didn't even see you at all.
I was in the back.
That'll do it.
Yeah. See, my issue with the panel was the panelists weren't really paying attention to the audience. It just felt like they just hooked up their laptop, and what they did was they had like a background and a clock. They would play the opening theme, and as the clock times down, it'll play for that long. Maybe about 10 seconds or 15 seconds of the opening.
Yeah, it was 12 seconds.
It was 12 seconds?
Yep.
Okay. 12 seconds of the opening, fade out, fade in with the actual intro and the name of the series. They even got fancy, put like an overlay so you could see what it was. And it just kept going,
Yeah, it was billed as some kind of game show, but there was nothing really gamey about it.
That really wasn't. No. I kept saying, I always wanted to do like anime Name That Tune, kind of done in the style of Jeopardy, like five
You know,
categories.
like the actual Name That Tune game show from way back when.
No, like a mix of both. Like you have five categories. Like here are your categories: made for TV, 8 and 16-bit.
Now you're getting into Jeopardy with that, and there's already a bunch of Jeopardy clones around that aren't all that good.
Ari, I said Jeopardy at least 3 times. But you have those like 5 different categories. And I haven't decided where, when you pick a category like point value, you get a clue or it just goes or it kind of plays a little of the tune and it goes through. Something like that. Yeah. But I do know Name That Tune. I used to watch it as a kid. But the thing is, I ain't got that budget for a big band, Or if I was to do it more like, even if I didn't do it like a Jeopardy style, I would just do like covers, Is it a cover or is it original, Something like that. Or who is this vocalist or something like that, Maybe I would do it sort of like how they did on Pressure Luck, where they would ask a question, somebody would answer, and then they would reveal the 2 other answers, and everybody would like either agree with the first or pick their own, and you earn points from doing that. So, like I said, I stuck around for like maybe 4 or 5 of the tracks, and then I left. Later that evening, I went back up to the room, and we got the equipment to take care of the Idol Showcase. And this one, and the showcase was different from last year. Last year, when they did the Idol Showcase, it was more of a competition. And basically, you had, I think it was like 2 or 3 teams would compete in each bracket, and then like one from each would move on, and then they would come back and compete again, and just keep doing the brackets up. This was different. It wasn't a competition. It was just a straightforward showcase. And they actually had an up-and-coming idol singer, who's actually putting out a single in the next couple of months. I do not remember her name, but I have it recorded. It was basically 19 performances right across the board, and they were all pretty awesome. You had Love Live, Project Seikai, you had Bang Dream. It was all great. I really enjoyed that. Now, when we talk about the Masquerade later, get a little different. Then after that, I went to the formal, and I had a pretty good time. I couldn't complain. I got some photos. I think by the time I got there, they were doing the electric slide. because last year, the formal was first, and then I had to leave the formal like a half hour early and go to the Idol Showcase. This one it was the Idol Showcase first, and then right after it was the formal. So I kind of wish there was like a half hour in between both. Maybe next year they'll do the Idol Showcase at 6, and then you have the formal at 8. I believe last year, they actually moved the formal to main events. They moved it back up to Live 7, where they had all the 21 plus events, So that wasn't so bad. I think like a couple of years, it gotten so popular that, for a couple of years, the formal was so popular, there was a wait to get in. But I guess they waited too long to recommend moving it to somewhere else, So it's not as many. And as Siren K says in our chat here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, they don't schedule big events properly, and you're probably right about that, because you don't want big events basically like competing against each other or literally right behind each other, And that was basically my Friday. I saw some pretty great cosplays. I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I didn't miss out on anything. That anime panel was so for the most part. I enjoyed the Idol Showcase, and I enjoyed being at the formal. I just hopefully for next year when I have my muralist, I'll be able to take better pictures. So, all right, Ari, what did you do on your day one?
Well, before going to that panel, both ended up at. I
Hmm.
did actually check out the pool,
Yeah.
and it was so nice that it was, you know, rebuilt and reopened. It was pretty much the same layout as before,
Mm-hmm.
with the same it actually had the same hot tub back in the corner.
Oh, that's good.
Whereas after one incident a few years ago, it just had a little platform with a potted plant covering it. So anyway, like, the water was nice. That was unfortunately there was only like one or two other people there the first time I went in. When I went in on Saturday, it was just a photo shoot happening. But
Mm-hmm.
that I'll talk about that later. And the they must have used some pretty strong chemicals in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
because not only did it like tint my toenails a really weird shade of like turquoise,
Yikes.
it also started discoloring my swimsuit.
Did you
So it's
did you tell the front desk?
well, it's an older swimsuit, so I wasn't really that
Okay.
bothered by it. But I don't think they're gonna do much about it. Like, like, it's not like they're gonna cut me a check and like, here, go buy a new one.
You never know. I'm not saying they cut you a check, but they might do something.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Zenkaikon app is great for you know managing my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Anime Rewind from stealing to streaming, which is about you know how people would get their anime from various different forms.
Yeah.
And
It's,
there was a whole section on you know fan subbing and distributions like that. And mostly,
mm-hmm.
you know like in the early '90s, it was all about the tape trading.
Well, yeah. Look, now two things. One, Siri K says it isn't safe, so they should know. I'm just saying, if you get a chance tomorrow, call the hotel and tell them you stayed there, and this is what happened to your swim trunk. Maybe they'll probably need to adjust the chlorine. That it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else.
About fan subbing and
Yeah, right,
tape
right,
trading.
right. Yeah. Okay. Now, back in the day, fan subbing was considered the gray market. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what it was called. And basically, fan subbers would put out a series. If the series was licensed, they would stop. They would drop that and go to another series. It was basically called ethical piracy of sorts, or ethical. That's basically what it was. And eventually, now it's gotten to the point where most fan subbers don't care if it's licensed. They're going to fan sub it anyway. There are some fan subbers that will just rip the anime and the actual subtitles and be like, "Here you go," I admit I still have some fan subs floating around, but that's because those series are kind of hard to get my hands on, or the actual physical media is way too expensive for me to purchase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. There was also totally subversive tunes, which was all the ways that you know the creators of kids TV shows would get shit past the censors.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun.
Fingerprints.
That 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 uh that joke was referenced, but it wasn't about that. It was also when like chronicling instances when the show took pot shots at its host network.
Mm-hmm.
And I was bringing up, like, and I Can anyone else think of any other examples? I call it, hey, you know that one couch gag in The Simpsons that was animated by Banksy, and it showed. Wait, you mean this one? Play.
Hmm.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
No, I have not watched The Simpsons in God knows how long.
That's fair.
Mhm.
But the reclusive artist Banksy did they animated one of the couch gags from The Simpsons, and oh boy, it's pretty fucking grim.
I believe it.
Basically, the entire Simpsons media empire, you know, put it in a sweatshop here. I will happily post a link in the chat for everyone to
Go
see.
for it. That sounds like a great idea.
And so anyway, after I didn't stay for the whole thing, mostly
Hmm.
because I was worried about missing the shuttle and getting over to the Holiday Inn.
Right, right.
Because I went for the for one of their Magic the Gathering drafts.
Okay, so how was that?
It was all right. I got decent cards out of it. There weren't too many people,
Hmm.
but I didn't really do too good with the gameplay. And after going 0-2 twice, losing 2 sets 0-2, I just I'm dropping out, and took my consolation prize pack, and went home.
You know,
Well, came back to the what do you call it, the hotel.
I thought about jumping back into Magic, but I'm like the rules have probably changed. I wouldn't know what the hell I'm doing, so you know.
I'm sure if there's a game shop near you, there'll be more
For,
to and a,
oh,
there'll
I
be more
oh I
than
oh I know there is just finding time.
yeah.
I mean, I just found out my friend RJ has the Secret Lair MLP deck, and I'm just like, I knew I'd forget to pre-order something, and well, and I know that thing is probably going for astronomical prices on eBay. So, did you check out the actual video game room at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But when on my way home, I passed the Lancaster Library where there was some kind of
We
protest going on.
we're going to get into that on our day two.
And then on the way home, I was like, I'll stop at the Isaac's, in here and get dinner.
Yeah, one of my friends got sick from at Isaac's.
Huh.
He got a
I guess
he got a sandwich from there. So
I guess I dodged a bullet.
probably. For those of you who are wondering, our con report by Cinnamite will be coming soon, and she went into the game room, and she will have you'll hear her thoughts and views on that as well. All right,
But yeah, after that, I just came home when we hung out in the hotel room, just occasionally watching what was on the Food Network.
All right, and now we have pretty Princess Mako.
Yeah, so my day one started with me getting into cosplay
Mm-hmm.
because we did a very small group from Fruits Basket. It's the first new cosplay I've done in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going as Shigure because, I wanted to go as my zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
And I am, because of the date that I was born, I actually fell before the Chinese New Year.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, so growing up, I always thought that I was the boar, but I am not. I am the dog. So I wanted to go as Shigure. So we basically walked around a little bit, and then I sat in the lobby because that's what I do. I just, I sit and I people watch and just, kind of relax and all of that. So I got to see a lot of the cool cosplay that was being shown by a lot of lovely, lovely people that Friday.
Mm-hmm. By the way, do you have the Shigure Pop?
Don't think so.
I found it on Amazon for $13.
I need
Not bad.
I know. I will send you the link to it momentarily.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, um, yeah. So then, went back to the room. Had some food that we got from across the street, and just kind of chilled and relaxed. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm done with cosplay for now. And then I see Cinnamite come out dressed as Makoto Kino
Mm-hmm.
and adorable. And then all of a sudden I'm being thrown shit.
Well, before we go down that line, so here's the thing. Late last year or early last year, after this, we have a couple of friends out in the Midwest, Patty and Steph. Y'all know them as our Uranus and Neptune and our Seiya and Yaten. They stream on Starlit Creations on Twitch, and there was talk of a big old Sailor Moon family reunion. It was that what was going to happen, but unfortunately, it fell apart because of finances, which is understandable, So during all of that, I got it into my head. Well, we all know how much Cinnamite looks up to Mako-chan, and they're not attached by the hip, but Mako-chan has done some pretty positive corruption to the child. And she decided to cosplay Makoto Kino as an homage to her big sister, Mako-chan. So it was like that. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't we get her to be Juban High Mako-chan? So that was in the plan. So the plan was for her to come out, you be all how precious and so forth, and then flip the conversation to where you should take a look at that. You should take a look at that box over there, something like that. But instead, I tossed her a Walmart bag with the cosplay and a bag and an Amazon package with shoes in it, because I had asked Mako-chan on Thursday if she had a pair of flats that Cinnamite could borrow for her cosplay. And I like, well, I figure she was like, yeah, sure. But she follows up with, I don't have a pair readily available, and we're two different sizes. So I'm like, well, back to the drawing board. And side note, Siren K said that she saw a Seiya and an Usagi. I believe I saw the Usagi, but not a Seiya here. Anywho, Mako, please continue.
Yeah, so cue me, not being at all ready to put on a surprise cosplay, but doing it anyway. Luckily, my hair was long enough to put up into a ponytail. But I very much enjoyed, being able to dress up as Makoto. And again, we took some pictures, and I just wanted to, hang out and chill. So I was back down into the lobby and just hanging out. And someone turns to me and she's like, "Are you Makoto?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God." And, we had a small little conversation about that. But yeah, it was nice. But that was that was basically the extent of my Friday. Unfortunately, this convention, now that it has moved to March, happens right at the start of pollen season. So my allergies were acting up as per usual. So basically, once I changed into street clothes on Friday, that was basically it. Again, I walked
Mm-hmm.
around, looked through the dealer's hall a little bit, and then basically crashed back in the room.
And let's not forget the fact that the transformation one that I got you was about the size of your forearm.
Yes, yes. 3D printed transformation wand, very large. I could definitely use it to beat people over the head, which, if I was not afraid of breaking it, I might have done.
Now, here's the thing. I went looking for the wand. Now, while I was in Japan, I should have checked. There is a store in Nakano Broadway that's specifically has magical girl stuff. I didn't really think to look. But I'm like, I'll look on Amazon and see if I can find something. I really couldn't find anything, so I'm like, let me go to Etsy. And I found a 3D printed wand. So we got that. Our friends mailed out the cosplay. And I'm thinking that everything is going to arrive early Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, because the original plan was for me to leave my house Wednesday around 2 o'clock to get down to Red Bank by 5, hit up this local barbecue place, which was mediocre at best,
Yeah,
and then
but
go.
again, it was a chain.
Mm-hmm. So that didn't happen. So I didn't get out there till late. But it is what it is. So now Mako-chan here has another cosplay to wear during the summertime if we ever do any summertime conventions.
Yes, I do.
And Siren K says she got so sick Friday night and have been okay since because of allergies. Please get well. Please get better, fam. Okay, now we will get into day 2, which is basically the highlight.
Yeah, day 2 was holy shit.
All right. Shall we address the elephant in the room?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right. A part of me wants to have my anger music in the background, but I don't think it might be worth it. But
probably not.
Actually, I will play it on low because I was kind of pissed off about this. All right. So here's the thing. If in case you didn't know, Zenkaikon was a proud sponsor of Drag Queen Story Hour, and they made this announcement on their Facebook weeks ago. I would say maybe 1 or 2 people had an issue with that. Fine, whatever. They got shut down. Last year, somebody on the group said something about something similar, and they got shut down. So what happened was on Saturday was that there was a bomb. There were 2 bomb scares and an evacuation of the Holiday Inn. Now, I am going to assume that the evacuation at the Holiday Inn was called in not just because of the location of the bomb, which is the quote-unquote bomb, which is at the Lancaster Library, which is basically a block and a half from the hotel. I guess some ignorant conservatives saw people in costumes and stuff like that, probably assumed that they were part of with the drag queens. Whether they are or they aren't, it's none of your concern. I don't see an issue with Drag Queen Story Hour. It's just people wearing dresses, fancy dresses, makeup and everything, and they're reading a story to your kids. And they're having a good time about it. That's all it is. I don't see why you right-wing idiots see that this is a problem. You need to open your eyes, open your ears, and actually listen. Because there are things more important in this world to protest than someone in a fancy dress reading a book to your kid. Maybe if you were a better parent, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have this problem. I'm dead serious. And that's
Pardon me.
And as Siren K says in our chat here, as people being their authentic selves, and for kids, it's just fun and experience because it's different. That's all it is. When I went
If you like people in costume hanging around your kids, never take them to Disney, never take them to Universal. Stop paying for the princesses to come and, treat them with hairstyles and makeup and all of that fun stuff. Because, those are people in costumes too.
Yup. That's all it is. There's no doctrinization or anything like that. It's just plain fun. Okay?
Yes.
When I went to go get my sandwich, and I was talking to another cosplayer about what was going on, because I saw the notification about the second bomb threat, which was like 10 minutes after it happened. This guy said, what's more weirder, a person wearing a dress reading a book, or the parents taking their kids to the person reading them the book? And we looked at each other and went, neither. And that turned into a brouhaha.
What happened? Did he keep insisting that you had to pick one or the other?
More or less, till the person on the other side of the counter told everybody to knock it the fuck off. Now that we got the big elephant out of the way, let's talk about our Saturday. Okay, I didn't check out any panels outside of the masquerade, and that in itself is a panel. But because of the shutdowns, I mean, there are parts of the hotel kind of flooded up, and then it just thinned out, which was really good. There wasn't like elbow room or anything like that. There was actually plenty of good space to walk around, and I liked that. Now, the masquerade was pretty good. I'm not going to complain. I love what walked away with Best in Show. I didn't pick up on it right away. I was talking to somebody next to me till they clued me in on one of the keywords. I was like, oh. There was still some idol skits in there, but it was like from different series, so it wasn't so bad. There was a really good Photon Maiden skit. I wouldn't call it was basically a press play skit, and what I mean by press play is where all you do with your friends as the idol group, you just do their song and the routine. That's basically a press play skit. But from my understanding is the choreography was down pat. They made their costumes, and that was great, and I loved it. There was a lot more variety. Hell, there was an Alan Wake skit that I was like, oh, I'm not the only one that's heard of Alan Wake. Okay. And Uncle Yo was hitting as always with his monologues. I may have to edit his monologues together and put it as a separate video release. We'll just see how that goes.
I think I ran into him in one of the elevators.
Yeah, it's always good to see him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me look this up. Siren K is asking about Alan Wake. I have the game, but I've played not as another game that it came with, and Alan Wake was a freebie. Let me see. Let's see. Let me take a look at this real quick. Well, basically Alan Wake is like a third-person action adventure game. Basically, that's the best thing I can really say, but it's kind of interesting. It's available on all platforms, and now that I believe we have a sequel, Alan Wake 2.
Well, it was also remastered for a PS4 and PS5.
I think I have the remastered one for Xbox, because like I said, it came packed in with a separate game. I don't remember. Let's see.
Pardon me.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Couldn't stop yawning. Sorry.
That's what it was. Quantum Break. I got Quantum Break, and it came with a free copy of Alan Wake. So So like I said, my Saturday was good. I really enjoyed it. I have not looked at the video footage yet because I know I'm going to play around and tweak it a little bit before it goes up. Um, the photos that I've taken are right here, so I have to dump these into Lightroom. I might have to create a new a new database for that. So, all right. So Ari, how was your Saturday?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know what it is, but like when I go to conventions, I feel like I'm missing out on a whole bunch of other stuff that's happening elsewhere.
That's always the case because there's always
Always going to be people doing other stuff, I
yeah.
guess.
There's always one. There's this one panel you want to go to, and then you go to that one, and you find out the one panel you skipped out on, some awesome stuff happening. You're just like, well, damn.
Well, not even that. It just feels like I hear what like everyone else does with their day, and I'm just like, oh man, you guys sound like you're having way more fun than me.
Hmm.
So anyway, and this thing is locked up on me. That's fine.
What locked up on you?
The Zenkaikon uh
Oh, the app
on my
okay,
phone, but
gotcha.
that's not that big a deal. Uh, one one thing I did go to was it was a lot truer to its name. It was called Anime Trope Bingo, which
Mm-hmm.
was they didn't like. Part of me thought they were going to be like showing stuff on the screen and like you pick out the tropes, what they are. But it wasn't like that. It was just like normal bingo, just calling out tropes on a bingo card.
Mm.
And I actually did pretty good on that. I got bingo and I won this. It's a,
Nice.
Dragon Ball Z. It's a Dragon Ball lamp.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You touch it. Sorry, I was just noticing how okay, turn off. I was just noticing how the light balance on my camera looked when I turned it on.
Mm.
And those also come for the fan service, but stay for the plot, which was exactly what you thought it was. Like, hey, like there's titillation and fan service and whatnot going on, but then you get through it, they're like, oh wow, this is actually a pretty decent show. I'm like, okay, yeah, pretty much. And those are the two main ones I stayed around for.
Okay, that's good.
Other than that, just ended up being burned out and tired from walking around so much, and I ended up, you know, I didn't, go to any of the parties or the raves or anything. Like that's what I mean when I say I feel like I'm missing out on like the good stuff, or maybe there's just something wrong with me.
No, it's called getting older. This was something that we were talking about over the weekend too. We'll get into that after we go through everything. So All right. So Mako, how was your day two, your Saturday?
So my Saturday, I went back across the street to the farmer's market, picked up some stuff, came back to the hotel because it was raining. So I came back to the hotel, chilled out,
Mm-hmm.
tried to dry off a little bit, and then that's when, shit kind of blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Metaphorically, thankfully.
Yeah, metaphorically. So I stayed in the room. I left long enough to go and get lunch, came back, relaxed, read a little bit, took a little bit of a nap, had the rest of my lunch for dinner, and then was just like, okay, this is my day. So basically once everything was settled, you know, I went downstairs for a bit and again just, kind of people watching, hanging out, listening to the music from the rave for a little bit.
Yep.
and then went back upstairs and, passed out. It was just a very chill. I wasn't, trying to push through the allergies because it was, just making me feel meh.
No, I totally get it.
But
Sorry that happened.
yeah, I'm used to it, but again, it was really nice just to, sit and watch all the people passing by in cosplay, or, what they were wearing to the rave, or, just hanging out. So it was, it's really fun to watch people that are just, trying to hang out
Mm-hmm.
in costumes, just being crazy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it really does fit the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I mean that was nice. And then I just, as I said, I went back up to the room and passed out. And I was gonna go over to the game room, but I'm just like, I'm not dealing with all of that craziness. So I didn't even do that.
I had planned on going to the game room, but I was shooting my friend Celeste Maxwell. She was cosplaying Izzy from Our Flag Means Death. So I hung out with her and a couple other friends for photos, and that was it. Because Sid and I was saying how quiet it was over there. I was like, well, fuck. That'd be perfect time to go over there, get in some poppin' music, maybe a little bit of DDR. Because from my understanding, the arcade there was tied into the Bimani network. So I was like, I definitely want in on that. So now we got that out the way. Now we'll talk about day 3. Go. And let's get going here. X. I will say honestly, due to the events of what happened on Saturday, it kind of threw me for a loop for Sunday. And I would say I kind of felt slightly off kilter because it's not something I was expecting to happen at the con, but it did. Now, I did miss seeing my friend Angel Fox cosplay as she cosplayed from High School DxD. Crap, I can't remember the name of the character off the top of my head. Not Rias. It's Rias' best friend, or close companion in the show. Let's see. High School DxD characters. Akeno, yeah, Akeno Himajima. I was hoping to get photos of her as that, but I did get photos of her as Aerith from Final Fantasy VII and Angel Dust from Has Been Hotel / Hell of a Boss. So I walked around and I actually bought some stuff. Like I did pick up an Aki Hayama figurine from Chainsaw Man, and I know I bought a Lloyd Forger figure as well. And one of the things I did see, like you can't see it because of the view from the stream, but I have a glass display case I always talk about. In my display case, there is a Stalking Anarchy figure that I have, an Angel Stalking Anarchy one. And I believe I paid about $50 for it off eBay. I saw that and the matching panty one going for like $120 each. And then I look over, there's the Altair version going for $320. And then there's the version where they're on the pole going for $380. All right, Siren K, to answer your question, my display case, I'd say, is about 5 feet tall. And I got it from IKEA. And what I did was I have I forget what you call them, but I have like little like risers in on each section of the display case where I'm able to show off multiple figurines. So that helps. And what's cool is you can actually run lighting through there, and you can get like special material. I forget what you call it, to go around the door to keep it airtight. So that I haven't done, but it's pretty cool. I would say each section is about 14, 15 inches tall. So it's definitely plenty of space. If you want, maybe I should take an updated picture and post it on my fan page. But anywho, again, Saturday it was very chill. It was very quiet. And I saw those figurines, and I was talking to a couple of other stocking cosplayers, and me doing the voice for them, which they got very excited over. So, and I've actually started looking for those figures on eBay, and I'm like, oh, they're actually a lot cheaper. But the thing is, yeah, they're cheaper because the majority of them are used, whereas it's new. But
the implications of it being used.
Well, from my understanding, it's not really like that. I just, because I have a few figurines I bought from Japan that are used. And basically, used is like they open the box, see what's inside, and if they like it, they put it back and close it and hand it over.
That's a lot different from the other definition of used.
Well, I think that's more of a stereotype more than anything else, because we've talked about on this show about how there are otaku who've taken great care of their figurines and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are some out there that are used like that, but I really doubt they make their way into the secondhand market like that. So we did leave a little bit earlier than normal, but overall we did have a good time on Sunday. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention on Saturday. I did get a chance to shoot. I did some impromptu photo shoots with Chibi T for cosplay. She was cosplaying from Has-Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss. I got to ask her about that. I ran into my friend Barracuda Cosplay, who was original concept Venus, and my friend Ophelia Cyber, who was Mariko from My Hero Academia. Two of those shoots I did at night with readjustments on my camera. So I am curious about how those photos came out and how well I'll be able to edit them. So I'm always finding something myself in a new particular position and stuff like that. So anyway, back to Sunday. It was pretty quiet. No, I didn't do any panels or anything like that. I just walked around, did some photos, and that was it. I know, Ari, you left a little bit early, right?
Yeah, like I got up, I packed everything up,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, I was just feeling really drained, mentally as well as physically. So I just ended up leaving around 11:30 or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I drove home. I stopped at the dispensary across the street from me, and well, let me just say they run a really tight ship in there.
Well,
And no, wait, the funeral home that it used to be was also a mafia front.
oh boy.
So that makes three, establishments that I have lived near that have been used for something mafia related in my lifetime.
That's kind of wild.
Oh, very much so. But yeah, I'm sorry that Sunday wasn't. I feel like I just got the fuck out of there as quickly as I could.
It's understandable and rightfully so. All right, Mako. What all did you do on Sunday?
So Sunday I basically, did my last go around to meet up with people. Chit chatted a bit, did my shopping in the dealer's room. Um, and that was, I mean, that was basically it. Once I was done with my shopping, again, went and chit chatted with a couple more people and then sat in the lobby until everybody was ready to go.
And I do believe you got a couple of you got a figurine and a button.
Yes, yes, I was surprised with a figurine. I was actually looking for something Kurama related, and then, you know, it was plopped into my lap, so thank you.
And what was funny was when I went and bought the Kurama figure, they had like all these pins up there, and I just happened to flip one over, and it was Shigure. I'm like, let me get that. All right. So overall, we enjoyed Zenkaikon. There has been a major change, as in the game, all gaming related stuff has been moved to the Holiday Inn. There are now workshops where the game rooms were. Which isn't bad. There's more panel rooms where some of them were as well. And now there is room for more 21 plus events. Oh, which reminds me, I did check out the 21 plus quote unquote after party Saturday night. It was Twisted Wonderland themed. There were drinks brought to you by the hotel. There were some mini games, and there were karaoke. I had a pretty decent time, but I think it should be more. I think it should be less games and just more fun, more 21 plushers. I mean, personally, if it's from like 10 o'clock to 2 a.m., 21 plus lounge where I can go in, have a couple drinks, meet and chill out with some friends. There's a place to dance or whatever. You have like maybe like a little karaoke set. Why not? I'm all about that. I will like hopefully for next year we can have it more like that. I liked where this was going this year. It reminded me of the first 21 plus event that happened that they did a couple of years back. I mean, yeah, the Saturday night when they had trivia. I mean, personally, I'm not about trivia. I'm just there to drink, party, dance, have a good time. That's all I really wanted. I didn't get everything, but I still enjoyed myself nonetheless. Now, overall, conventions are changing and they're evolving. And some of us are still talking about how, oh, it's not how it used to be. It should be more like this. Well, if it's more like how it used to be, the numbers might drop. And that's not a good thing. Conventions need to evolve with the people that are coming with it. I don't know if like I said, there were no video rooms. It would be nice to have a video room. I assume half the time I walk by, the workshops were kind of empty, but the other half the times I walked by, they had people in it. It was great. I would say, let's have only one workshop panel, make the other room a video room, and let's have some more adult content at night. I know some conventions that have like the quote unquote nighttime rave. After a certain time, it becomes 21 plus only and security checks badges. Now, I will say what was cool about Saturday night was one thing that's a staple at most conventions is hang out in the lobby. Granted, security shut the lobby down at 2:30 Saturday morning, but homie coming around giving out what free tacos from Taco Bell at 2:15 made things perfectly okay. And as Siren K says, did we need Pikachu ear making 2 days in a row? Probably not, no. Unless one was a basic and an intermediate course or something like that. I don't know. I really didn't check.
I will say that some of those workshops,
Mm-hmm.
they had a children's workshop and then later had an adult version of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that the kids going weren't beat out by the older fans.
Mm.
So, I mean, I can understand why some of them had more than one slot, but some of them were just all ages. And yeah, I guess I can see that, maybe a different Pokemon,
Okay.
maybe a different, something instead of the same thing. But at the same time, I was going to go to one of the workshops, and it was on all 3 days, and I still didn't make it to it. So, maybe again, maybe having it be a little bit different instead of the same thing would work. But again, not necessarily that everybody was able to go to each one. So having it multiple times was also kind of good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's time for me to jump back into the game and do some more panels myself. I like doing like the panel on doing your own Twitch, how to do your own Twitch panels and so forth, like all the hardware. I really like doing a live podcasting panel as well. So
Yeah, I definitely want to do a live podcast and
yeah,
see get all of our unfiltered reactions in real time.
well, we'll save that for Shenanigans. So yeah, that's basically is it. Siren K says that she did a disability and conventions panel last year. Well, that is good. It's also a good staple of a panel? Cons 101, budgeting 101. That's good. That's good stuff to have, The only thing I've noticed with a lot of conventions, it's like you could have the panel 5 times in that weekend, but run by 5 different people and word it differently. It's different, but not the same, It is what it is. I mean, but overall, I just like the fact that it didn't feel crowded this year. So I was like, it was good. I enjoyed it. I will continue to say that Zenkai is a good entry level convention for people to check out and go to. I don't think like your first con should be like Anime NYC or A-Con or Anime Boston, Otakon, Katsucon, AX, SakuraCon. Those cons get anywhere between 25,000 and plus. Unless you like being around large crowds, then go for it. But I'm like, start small and just go from there,
Mm-hmm.
So, will we be back next year? Absolutely. We'll hope to see some changes? Possibly. We'll see. You never know. And given the time, I think we should just go right into getting out of here because I don't think we're going to have time to get into those articles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Works
no,
for me.
it's definitely a late night.
Yeah. Refresh the page. All right. We are going to transform a rollout and get the heck up on out of here. Let me see. Volume control is set. Go ahead and go. If you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it and what we like and don't like. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Don't forget to check out our website, which is animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you will find anime reviews, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, editorials, links to our YouTube page of convention coverage, links to our Facebook page of cosplay convention coverage, all that and all that more at animejamsession.com. And don't forget to check out our podcast. You can find us wherever podcasts are available. iHeart Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you use, you name it, you'll find us there. And what's cool is some of these apps have the ability to leave for you to leave a review. So if you could, give us some thoughts. We'd like to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and other sites coming soon. And to everybody who follows us on our social media pages, thank you so much. We couldn't do this show without y'all. We loved the support that you give us. And if you feel gracious, throw us a few bones if you like. There's a tip jar down below if you're participating with us live. There are links to our Stream Elements, Streamlab, and Ko-Fi pages if you want to throw us a few dollars. We'd love that. Cheer us on with bits in the chat. Sub to the channel. We appreciate all of that. Every little bit counts. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words. Mako-chan.
I took today off of work, and now I have to deal with going back, and I don't want to.
You took 2 days off?
I kind of called out today.
Last words, Ari.
I'm not looking forward to going into work tomorrow, mostly because I had 2 extra days off. That's how scheduling worked.
My last words is, you know what? Maybe I should have taken today off too. I walked into a cluster F today, and I was just like, maybe I should have extended it. Well, that is it. End of list. We're done. We're getting out of here. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Ari will be here. Mako will be here. I will be here. Will you be here? We're hoping you are. So, I'm Ranma.
I'm Ari.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We are out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!